Can you believe it? This is our last lecture. I am Nancy Southerland, your instructor for Chapter 19, Advertising, Public Relations, and Sales Promotions. These are the learning objectives for this chapter. Students, we are tasked with describing and executing an advertising campaign, identifying 3 of the objectives of advertising, describing the different ways that advertisers appeal to consumers, identifying the various types of media, identifying agencies that regulate advertising, describing the elements of a public relations toolkit, and lastly, describing the various types of sales promotions. Students, designing and carrying out a successful advertising campaign requires much planning and effort. This slide shows the key steps in the process, each of which helps ensure that the intended message reach the right audience and have the desired effect, meaning specifically return on investment and for the product to be purchased. This will be covered in the following slides. The web link is for Ad Age. It's interesting to visit the site and to be able to see current issues in advertising. The success of an advertising program depends on how well the advertiser can identify its target audience. Firms conduct research to identify their target audience. Then they use information they gain to set the tone for the advertising program. The information gotten helps them select the media they will use to deliver the message to that audience. The advertising plan must be specific to the identified target audience and include the strategic objectives and tactics to be used. However, all advertising campaigns are definitely aimed to inform customers of the product, to persuade customers to purchase the product, and to remind customers of the product. There are also 2 distinct strategies to accomplish advertising objectives. The pull strategy is when the goal is to get customers to pull the product into the marketing channel by demanding it. In contrast, the push strategy is designed to increase demand by focusing on wholesalers, retailers, or salespeople. As I said in the prior slide, an advertising campaign has 3 broad objectives: to inform, to persuade, and to remind the target audience. All of these objectives ultimately have the sale of a product as a design response. Therefore, we see the pivotal reason for the advertising campaign is to be a driver of business. Someday I'll provide instruction just on business. Students, a business must have repeat sales continually to ensure its sustainability. The sustainability of a business is the lifeblood of society as we know it. Most advertising is product focused so as to increase the sales of the particular product and thus be a driver of business sustainability. However, companies like ExxonMobil advertise their commitment to the environment, not their products, to inform, persuade, and remind consumers of positive thoughts about the company, which can prompt the purchase of products and services. Students, why might Exxon be particularly interested in institutional advertising? Because oil and gas companies are often accused of engaging in practices that are harmful to the environment. Too many oil spills have resulted on our seas. Therefore, it is important for the firm to stress that they are an environmentally responsible firm to negate some of this criticism. Institutional advertisements inform, persuade, or remind customers about circumstances such as the issues we discussed with ExxonMobil, the devastation of oil spills on the environment. Institutional advertisements relate to places, politics, or industry. A special category of institutional advertising is the public service advertising. Public service advertisements are designed to raise awareness of public welfare issues and receive free airtime as required by the FCC. This is an ad with Gruff the Crime Dog and crime prevention. Students, firms must consider the role that advertising plays in their attempt to meet their overall promotional objectives. Secondly, expenditures vary over the course of the product life cycle. Third, the nature of the market and product influence the size of the budget. Students, a product in the decline stage of its life cycle will probably not be supported with a large advertising budget. Thus, setting the promotional budget is not easy, and advertising often is the largest single expenditure in the promotional budget. Thus, firms must carefully weigh the benefits of advertising versus other communications when deciding how much to allocate. In this step, marketers determine what they want to convey about a product or service. The unique selling proposition or the value proposition is delivered to the consumer. The USP or the unique selling proposition concept conveys core benefits to the target audience. The best USPs stand the test of time. Consider examples such as those on the slide. The USP is the common slogan or theme in the advertising slogan. Students, do you believe that these will stand the test of time? Nokia has been using connecting people for a long time. However, Verizon tends to change and is currently using It's the Network. Students, I tell you again that the distinct reason for advertising is to increase sales. In fact, advertisers use different appeals to portray their products or services with the ultimate goal of getting customers to purchase them. Appeals depend on the target audience, chosen media, and the type of product or service. Each appeal persuades in different ways, whereas informational appeals are more cognitive because they provide information and persuade using rational thought. Emotional appeals persuade by triggering an emotional response rather than the offering of rational arguments. They focus on emotions such as fear, safety, humor, happiness, love or sex, comfort, and nostalgia. The media buy is the actual purchase of airtime or print pages and is generally the largest expense in the advertising budget. Also, the ability of any one media outlet to reach a mass audience is declining due to the fragmentation of media and the proliferation of new media outlets resulting from the exponential growth in technology. Likewise, the trend represents a double-edged sword because fragmenting media has also allowed for the very fine targeting of media buys. This is a long list of options, students, from TV to radio to newspaper to internet, etc. What media do you use and under what circumstances do you use that type of media? For example, do you listen to radio while driving in your car or watch television when you get home at night? When do you go online? The plethora of advertising choices makes it a must for the advertising business to know where to find the target audience in order that advertising dollars have a good ROI. An advertising campaign has a finite period in which the message is conveyed, and the advertising schedule specifies the time and duration of the advertising. Given that every advertising campaign has a set duration in that period, marketers must determine how often and when to show the ads. Ads can be employed to run continuously, pulsing, or a flighting strategy. For a frequently purchased good such as soda, most firms use a continuous strategy. A flighting schedule is often used for seasonal goods since they are only advertised during certain times of the year, such as before or during the season of the summer for the suntan lotion. A pulsing schedule is used for firms who have certain fluctuations in their demand and need to increase advertising during the low periods of low demand. Car rental firms may continuously advertise but increase the advertising during low demand times. I have loved ads all my life. Many reverberate in my mind. Thus, the message that is communicated to customers is done so through ads. Ads attempt to make maximum use of the medium's ability to deliver the message. Various media have different benefits and limitations. For instance, television enables businesses to advertise combining imagery, movement, and the music, whereas radio relies solely on sound to deliver the message of the advertiser to the consumer. When choosing which media, firms must also watch their objectives to that channel. Let us imagine an advertising campaign for a perfume. The goal of the campaign is to increase awareness of the perfume within a chosen target market by 20% over the life of the campaign. What measure would we take to make sure the campaign is on track? We could design a tracking study that measured sales, website visits, and sample requests generated over the course of the campaign. We also might measure awareness levels of the target market at various stages of the campaign by literally discerning whether customers have brand awareness. My biggest thought of whether the campaign was successful would be, did we see an adequate increase in sales? Students, it's time for another assessment. What are the steps involved in planning an ad campaign? Identify their target market, set advertising objectives, set the advertising budget, depict their product or service, evaluate and select media, create the ad, and assess the impact of the ad. Second question. What are the differences between informational, persuasive, and reminder advertising? Informative advertising communicates to create and build brand awareness with the ultimate goal of moving the consumer through the buying cycle to a purchase. When a product has gained a certain level of brand awareness, firms use persuasive advertising to motivate consumers to take action. Persuasive advertising generally occurs in the growth and early maturity stages of the product life cycle. Reminder advertising is communication used to remind or prompt repurchases, especially for the products that have gained market acceptance and are in the maturity stage of their life cycle. Question 3. What are the pros and cons of the different media types? I want you to please see page 590 in the Greenwald text for the lengthy discussion. Question 4. How can the effectiveness of advertising be evaluated? The effectiveness of an advertising campaign must be assessed before, during, and after the campaign has run. Firms can use pre-testing, tracking, and post-testing. The FTC, the FCC, and the FDA are all governing agencies acting as a control and guiding mechanism for all of society's stakeholders. Advertising regulation exists on a federal, state, and local levels, and a host of self-regulatory agencies oversee various forms of advertising. Unlike in many European countries, puffery is legal in the United States. Generally, these claims are so outrageous that no rational consumer would believe them. Why do companies utilize public relations as part of their IMC strategy? Public relations programs are used to build and maintain a positive image of the firm, head off unfavorable stories or events, and maintain positive relationships with the media. Firms can accomplish these public relations objectives by working with or providing with media with products or favorable information to be used in articles, television appearances, etc. They can also work with charities or co-sponsor events. This is done because marketing should have as its central core that the right thing should be done for the benefit of all stakeholders. Whereas advertising has decreased as a portion of total marketing communications budgets, sales promotions have increased. This is a good thing. Promotions can be used to stimulate sales by either the end user, consumers, or to stimulate channel members to sell more of a given product or service. If focus on the end user, the promotion is called a pull strategy. If focus on channel members, is called a push strategy. This slide lists the many different sales promotions. Further, sales promotions can occur either in conjunction with an advertising campaign or as a standalone component of a marketing communications plan. In either case, they must be consistent with the brand image. Students, let us take this opportunity to look at the list. Which ones do you think are the most effective and why? Further, which ones have you used in the past week, the past month? What are the various forms of sales promotions, students? Coupons, deals, premiums, contests, sweepstakes, samples, loyalty programs, point-of-purchase displays, rebates, and product placement. Second question. What factors should a firm consider when evaluating a sales promotion? The realized margin from the promotion, the cost of additional inventory carried due to buying more than the normal amount, the potential increase in sales from promoted merchandise, the long-term impact on the sales of the promotion, the potential loss suffered when customers switch to promoted merchandise from more profitable products, and the additional sales made to customers attracted to the store by the promotion.